In a recent video, I combined my two most favorite new pieces of equipment to make really cool works of art. I used my EufyMake UV printer, also my xTool P2S, to create some really cool cake toppers. Now here's the deal. In that video, and also in all the other EufyMake UV printer videos that I have posted here on my channel, the one comment that I keep seeing over and over and over again is, what does a transparent or stained glass type of cutout look on the EufyMake UV printer? So today, I've actually created a really cool design, and we are going to see if the UV printer can make really cool faux stained glass designs. Now, if you've seen my other tutorials that I have done with just the xTool P2S, you will know that I created a really cool faux stained glass using just acrylic and some paint. But what if I never had to paint ever again and I could just use my xTool to cut out the acrylic and then also my UV printer to print the cool designs? Now, I have no idea how this is going to turn out. So this video is essentially just one huge experiment. We're gonna find out what print settings we should be using with our UV printer to get faux stained glass designs like what I have on my wall right there. Or is it even possible? So for today, because this is all about experimenting, I have a huge sheet of clear acrylic. I am going to cut my frame twice on the clear acrylic with my xTool P2S. One I'm gonna do is transparent print onto clear acrylic. The other one I'm gonna do is like the texture thing that we have been using a lot, the 3D texture. I'm gonna do that too. Then also, because I think that this may be the answer of what we're looking for to create a really cool faux stained glass. So I'm not entirely sure yet, okay? I have a piece of holographic acrylic, and I also have this one holographic acrylic. I think what I'm gonna do is print clear both of these, but this right here has some texture to it, and it's kind of clear but has some holographics to it, but there's like it feels like textured stained glass-esque. Does that make any sense? So anyways, I'm gonna try it 4 different ways, and we are gonna see which way works, or does it even work. Now, first thing first, what we have to do is we have to go to the xTool P2S, and we have to cut out all of our acrylic. Then we're gonna go to the EufyMake UV printer, set it all up, and press print. Hopefully by the end of this video, we actually do have one really good stained glass print, and then we'll know exactly what settings we should be using, what settings we shouldn't, just so then you don't have to experiment and waste on your own material and ink when you get the EufyMake UV printer. Let's go. Setup is really easy when you have the xTool P2S. You just have to turn this puppy on. Then you want to open the lid, and oh, I actually already have a piece of clear acrylic in here. So I'm going to leave that piece of clear acrylic inside my laser bed. It's going to do all the startup process, so I'm just going to shut the lid. Now let's go over to the computer and set up our design. Okay, the first thing I want to do is go over to the xTool Creative Space program and open that up. Now, since this is a new design, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to New Project. Nope, I am not going to do an update, but when you first log in, the computer or the machine, the laser, is going to automatically, since the machine is on, going to send over the current image of what is in my xTool P2S right now. Now, whenever we do any type of cutting or any type of work, actually, what I always want and suggest people to do is come over here and press this aimed measure button and do an aimed measure. What this is doing is the machine is actually telling or I guess the camera is telling the machine exactly what thickness we are cutting. This is going to give you the crispiest of crispy cuts. Now I need to select the material that I'm going to be using. I will say that there are going to be other little like 3mm, 6mm, 3mm red, 3mm frosted black. To be honest with you, I feel like they all cut the same, so I'm just going to choose one and press got it. Now what I'm going to do is find my SVG file that I created and drag and drop it into xTool Creative Space. Now, just to make sure that this is the same size as what I've created it's 3.382 inches wide, and this right here is 3.382 inches wide. So it didn't get resized. However, I do want to cut this out. So I'm going to come over here and press cut, and it already loads with pre-settings, so I don't have to change anything else. But I am going to cut this twice. So I'm going to copy and paste because this is a clear, and I am going to cut this twice.
twice. Just come over here, save room on material. Make sure nothing is touching and overlapping. Now I'm gonna have to repeat these steps with the 2 pieces of holographic acrylic that I'm gonna be using, but essentially the same steps we do right now is what you are going to do with the clear acrylic. Once I'm done with my setup process, which I am, I'm just gonna press process. The xTool is gonna take a total of 57 seconds to cut out these 2 circles. Then I'm just gonna press start. Now, before you press the happy button, you have to make sure that you're either venting out of the window or using an air filter. I am using the xTool AP2 or A, whatever. It is their air filter. It's underneath my desk. That's what I'm going to be using, so I'm going to turn it on. Now, with the air filter on, it gets extremely loud in here. All you want to do is press the magic button. Not only are we going to cut this, we're also going to cut out the holographic acrylic. Same steps as before, like I had mentioned. Now, before I do any type of prints with my EufyMake UV printer, what I have to do is come over here to the device and I have to do the inkjet, which is essentially just going to put my printer in a use mode. This printer has not been used in 5 days. So we're going to prepare the inkjet and then we just continue cutting the acrylic as like I had said earlier. We're gonna have some itty bitty little cutouts. Okie dokie artichoke, now we have a bunch of small little cutouts. I decided to do more just for future tests for this one. Now what we want to do is go over to the UV printer, not that far of a walk, and we're going to open up our little hatch. I already have the small bed installed into the EufyMake UV printer. And you know what I've decided to do is I'm actually going to do 3 prints of just the transparent on the watered one, just the holographic, and just the clear. I have 0 clue what the end results of any of this is going to be. However, when it comes to the acrylic that has the texture, what I'm going to do is print onto the texture. So there is, on this particular acrylic, there's going to be this plastic sheeting over the top of it. I'm just going to peel that off and I'm going to set this inside my printer. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the acrylic, the clear acrylic. My clear acrylic has a paper masking on top. So same thing, we're just going to peel the masking tape off. And then, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but there's like 2 different finishes. This one, and then this one has more of like a frosted finish. I'm going to use this side to print on top of it. All right, so we're just going to peel the plastic right off of that. Kind of has this like orangish tint. Put that into the UV printer. Alrighty tidy, all we want to do now is we're just going to close the hatch, head over to the EufyMake UV Studio. This is still doing its maintenance, that's fine. All we need to do is press this plus button. We are going to find the file that I created because we got a little bit of setup work that we have to do. We're going to drag and drop the file. We want to make sure and resize this to the size that we need. So going back over into Inkscape, we need to change this over from inches to millimeters. This is 88.9 millimeters. So going back into the EufyMake, 88.9 millimeters. Alrighty, now all we have to do is wait for the machine to get done with its maintenance so we can do a live preview of our design. All right, now that that's done, we're just going to press OK. Going back over into our design, you want to make sure and come over here and press snapshot. Essentially what that is doing is it is taking a live camera preview of what is in our machine. So if we open the hutch back up, do you see how everything is moving and you see the light shining? What the machine is doing, there's multiple cameras within the machine and it's taking a picture of what is inside. So just like the xTool P2S, there's cameras in here, so we're going to be able to align up our pictures onto our circles perfectly. Okay, now all we have to do is place all 3 of our designs onto our circles. What do you think that these are going to look like? Do you think that they're going to end up looking really good or no? You have to let me know, because like I said, I have no idea how these are going to end up looking, okay? I want to make sure that every single one of these is printed on the CMYK only. So I'm going to click on my ink modes and we are going to do CMYK only for all of these things right here. Now I'm going to press print. We're going to come over here to custom. We're going to select acrylic. Ink mode is mix. Standard, we're going to keep it at the standard print. Now we're just going to press start print. Now the machine itself is connected via Wi-Fi. You could, if you wanted to, you could leave this open or close it. It's up to you. It really doesn't matter. But all you want to do is press the button at the top of your machine. It doesn't really matter one way or another. You can keep it open or you can close it, but we're just going to watch this thing. All right, here is going to be the finished pieces. Now, before we actually peel the designs, what I want to do is go ahead and print off the other ones that we cut out, these ones right. So doing the same thing that we've done before, I am going to peel off only one side of my acrylic, and we are going to use different print settings for these three that's right here. Now for that last print, it did take 5 minutes to complete, which isn't bad. Let's go to press finish, going back to our canvas, and what you want to do is come back here to this arrow. Yes, we want to X. And then I want to make sure and create a new snapshot because we did change where everything's. Okay, then what we need to do is just make sure that these are readjusted just like before. Okay, so this time I'm going to do it a little bit different. Last time we only used the CMYK mode. Now what we are going to do is we are going to do white and then CMYK. And we are going to do this for all of them, white and CMYK. Essentially what is going to happen is we are going to have a layer of white that is printed first and then the layer of color, okay? Once we're done doing that, you just want to press. We have everything set up outside of the fact that we need to select our material as acrylic, and then we just want to press start. Same thing as before, the machine is going to send the file over from the computer to the printer. You just want to press the magic button, and then you're going to let the machine do it. Okay, so remember how the first ones took 5 minutes? These three took a total of 13 minutes, so a few minutes longer than before. The reason why that happens is because with these ones right here, all the printer is doing is laying down some color. So it's just doing color, okay? When it comes to placing down the white, what needs to happen is the white has to get printed first and then the color. So that's why it took longer to do these three than these three. Now, before we see what these look like, let's peel off the masking tape off of these. So this is what this looks like, just like this. And then when you flip it over, this is what the design is going to be. I'm going to hold it up into my window just so you can see, but it's really hard to see that design, right? Oh, look, just like that. This is what it's going to look like when you put it into the window. Very hard to see. And to be honest with you, it's going to be like that for all because we are missing that layer. So this is what the front and the back is going to look like when you hold it up into the window. This is what your design is going to look like, kind of like a frosty look. Now this is going to be that watery type. This is the back, and this is kind of disappears, okay? So first things first, let's start with the clear acrylic. We did clear and then white on the back. So when we peel it, what happens is what we could have done is we could have done CMYK, white CMYK, but your back is going to be white, and then this is what your front is going to be. Then when we hang that up in the window, this is what your design is going to be. Not terrible. This is what it's going to look like on the hologram. So this, and then you can't really see much on the holographic. Yeah. All right. So now let's look at, this is that textured acrylic. This is what this looks like. This one is not terrible. It does have that like watery texture to it, but I am not in love with it. We got, this one was the white with the peeled, like the texture acrylic white. we'll put them side by side. This one is the CMYK only with the texture. This is the holographic with the white on the back, and then holographic with just CMYK. Clear with CMYK only, and then clear with the white on the back. I don't think I am happy with any of this. This one I think is good. This is the clear acrylic with the white and the CMYK. This one right here, what do you think? This isn't terrible, but it's not really giving me stained glass. What do you think? Which one do you like better? Okay, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do one more with the 3D texture technology. I'm going to do it on the clear, and I'm going to do 3D texture technology. Let's see what that looks like. Or what if we do this? Okay, I'm going to do it twice. I'm going to forego the textured acrylic. Although, oh my gosh. You know what? Screw it. We're going to do another test. I'm going to cut out the acrylic in the clear, the holographic, and the textured, and I'm going to do the 3D technology on that. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so while I wait for my machine to start back up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press finish and come over here back to my canvas. I am going to go back into my design, and this time what I'm going to do is I am going to delete my other two items right here. And this one right here, let's see, this one right here, I am going to let's do pattern texture. Okay, let's go over here into preview and let's see what the pattern texture looks like. Oh, I think this is going to look so good. Look at that 3D texture. I'm going to leave it at the 0.6 millimeters. I think that's going to give me just the right amount of texture. What do you think? Ow, I think this is going to look. Oh, great. Okay, so let's exit out of that. I need to cut out my circles. So let me just cut out my circles real quick. All three test blanks have been cut out, but I have to tell you, in between cutting out the new blanks, my husband came in here and he said this one is his favorite so far. You have to tell me, which one is your favorite so far? Do you think that this is going to work out? I sure hope this is it. All right, let's go to the software. Okay, so same setups as before. We are just going to press that snapshot button. The machine is going to give us a live preview of what is inside our machine. We are going to copy and paste and make 3 of these copies. All right, those look good to me. Going to do nothing more besides press print. We are going to set this to acrylic. Everything else is going to be fine, and then just press start printing. I would like to note how much ink we are using. So for this particular project, we are going to use 3.56 milliliters of ink. You're going to see that we're heavy on the white. The reason for that is it needs to build the layers. In order to build the layers, it builds it in the white. So 3D texture, you will go through your white ink faster than all the rest of the colors. Also, it will take longer than doing it just the CMYK or the CMYK in white. This is going to take a lot longer than the other prints that we have already done. All right, now let's press this button and hope that we get something good here. Now remember, what I did say is that it did take longer for this to print, and this took 39 minutes to create all 3 of these designs. And let's check out what the finished looks look like. Let's first, before we take off the paper, there is some texture to this thing and it's absolutely gorgeous. Peel it off. Remember, it's going to have the white on the back, but this is going to be the finished product of this clear acrylic. So clear, white, and then the color. Looks so good. Probably could have done a way better job aligning up my prints on this, but it'll be all right. So with the holographic, we have the holographic with the white, and this is the final look. To be honest with you, I don't see much of a difference because the white covers up the holographic. And then this one, again, I could have done a better job at aligning my project to the blank. let's go and put this up on the window and see what they look like. All right, so we have the holographic. This is just the white holographic, no 3D to it. Holographic with the pattern, just color. And then we have this one that is the texture on top of textured acrylic. I don't think this is it. I also don't think this is it. I don't know. This is the holographic with the texture. Okay. Putting that with no texture and clear. So we have holographic, CMYK only, holographic with white back, holographic with the texture. I just don't think that any of these really turned out good. Okay, so this right here is going to be the clear with the texture on it. Compare the three. I'm thinking this one is the best. I don't think I like just the clear with the color onto it because it is kind of hard to see. I think the clear with the white on there looks best, but this one that has that texture on it looks so good. So I have to know, in your opinion, which one of these turned out the best? And would you consider any of these to be like a good replacement for faux stained glass? Just to give you an example of what it is that I'm talking about, this right here was the stained glass that I had made. It was just 2 layers of acrylic that I had put paint in and created this really cool faux stained glass design. Does this equal this? What do you think? I feel like this one right here screams this could be actually stained glass until you get up close. And this one still just doesn't seem like it is stained glass. The results are remarkable though. The fact that I was able to just cut out some acrylic and then print some really cool designs and small. These things right here are like 3 inches big. So they're not even, or maybe 4 inches, they're not even that big. And we got some really good results with that. I mean, that right there is phenomenal. So the results of these aren't terrible, but is it a replacement for stained glass? You let me know. All right, friends, I sure hope that I helped you out in the journey of what else can you make with the EufyMake printer, and I'll see you on the next one.